The Industrial Revolution, written and narrated by Renee Ellis. World History Final Project, April 21st, 2016. Spanning the decades, the Industrial Revolution that emerged from the 18th century has set the pace for everything that we know and do in the manufacturing of goods in the United States. The Industrial Revolution was the brainchild of replacing humans with machines in order to meet the demands of the growing society. The Industrial Revolution saw many downfalls as many triumphs that impacted our country. In the 1700s, manufacturing was mainly done in people's homes using basic hand tools. This meant that producing goods was very slow and very hard to regulate. The breakthrough of the Industrial Revolution, known as the factory system, changed how goods were made and produced. The factory system produced goods at a much faster pace. Factory business provided advantages to employees and employers alike. Women were allowed to work in many textile factories, however, earning less than men. The use of child labor was another huge approach that businessmen took to meet the demands for goods. The assembly line aspect of the factory made producing goods a much cheaper way for life. With the influx of factories popping up, it took a great toll on the environment as a whole. Burning of coal in mass quantities created high volumes of pollution. The major impacts were the airborne and water pollutions. Many sources, such as our rivers, became receptacles of human waste. The carbons released from smokestacks left a dark black cloud over many cities. In the 18th century, acid rain was linked back to the coal-powered plants. And you may remember during the 19th century, the Great Smog of London killed 4,000 people. These hazards affected not only the employees in the factory, but the communities where the factories were located. Forming from the Industrial Revolution, there were laws surrounding labor that made a major change. For many years, the use of children in factories was very common. It was not unknown for a business to employ 150 people, with half of those being children. The environments were unsafe. Heavy equipment presented obstacles, which often led to injury and sometimes death. Another major concern for employees in the factories were the long hours and climate. Many employees were working from sunup to sundown. Temperatures were not regulated. There was high heat in the summer and cold, frigid temperatures in the winter, many of which caused health issues for employees. As a result of these concerns, the creation of labor laws surrounding children, unions, and workers' compensation were created. All of these laws still exist today to provide a guideline on how employees should be recruited, retained, and safeguarded by their employers. Transportation was another huge resource that changed during the Industrial Revolution. With the invention of the steam engine, it brought great opportunities to businesses. With the opening of the Erie Canal in the mid-18th century, exporting goods widened to many neighboring states such as New York City, Cleveland, and Chicago. The railroad system was another resource that products and supplies were easily moved across the United States. In addition to helping with manufacturing, people began using these modes of transportation to travel and visit other areas that had often been way out of reach. The social structure was forever changed by the Industrial Revolution. The middle class rose quickly and emerged a new social class known as the upper middle class. This class derived from business professionals such as lawyers and doctors. The abundance of job opportunities gave way to increased incomes. The rich got richer. Thus, the upper class continued to be the dominant in land and business ownerships. The political realm of society was also impacted by the Industrial Revolution. Debates over women's rights, slavery, and other economic issues became part of the platform that continues on today in our political structure. It is evident that the quality of life improved for the middle class and upper class. However, the working class and poor continued to be met with challenges. Long hours in the factory, dirty living environments gave way to disease and other conditions. There were very positive effects of the Industrial Revolution. 1. Modern inventions. The need for goods was in high demand, and inventions such as the spinning jenny, the water frame, steam engine, and other iron productions increased factory efficiency and productivity. The lasting effect of these inventions advanced technology, transportation, medicine, and the means to create import and export in other areas of our world. Society as a whole underwent dramatic changes during the 18th and 19th century as a result of the Industrial Revolution. Although there is discussion of many of the negative effects, dirty and dangerous conditions, living in slums, excessive pollution, disease, children working at young ages, long hours, and minimum pay. There are also many positive things that were put into place to protect the people then and many of us in what we do today. The laws to enforce that children cannot be exploited. Companies must adhere to minimum wages. There are provisions on how many hours employees can work, compensation for employees when they work over those hours, accountability for employers to maintain equipment and have safe work environments. It's a fair notion to say that the overall positive effects of the Industrial Revolution have an impact on everything that we experience today across many social sectors.